I'm in San Jose, and so I had to get up bright and early to make it here, a little bit after 7. But first I want to say thank you to Dave for offering the opportunity to speak with you today, and thank you for having me. I know that you're a great service organization and you probably have your hands really full, but just want to share another opportunity with you about junior achievement. And let's see if I can do this correctly. How many of you have heard of junior achievement before? Oh, okay, wow. All right, so I might be preaching to the choir this morning, but for those of you who have not heard, junior achievement's been around since 1919. It's an almost 100-year-old organization, and at first there was one program, their signature program, which still exists today, which is called the company program. I was in that program when I was in high school. It wasn't quite 100 years ago, though it feels like it. It was that long ago. But I had a great time, and the company was founded by Horace Moses and Theodore Val and Senator Murray Crane in Boston, and what they were trying to do is give young people, high school students, an opportunity of what it was like to run their own business. And today, it's still the same premise. Kids start and liquidate their own company in about a semester time, 12, 13 weeks. And so the goal, well, junior achievement is worldwide. We are all over the world in about 123 countries, and that surprises people. We're also, our programs are in Northern California as well, and Northern California for us actually reaches out to Central Valley, all the way north, Mendocino, down to Monterey County, and out to Half Moon Bay. And we served about 101,000 students last year. Worldwide, it's about 10 million, and in the United States, it's about maybe 4.5 million students. And our mission is really to help kids succeed in the global economy. When I came out of high school, I mean college, maybe I was competing, I didn't really think about it, maybe I was competing with people in the area, the Bay Area. But now we know that it's global. I used to work for Cisco, and I was a college recruiter, and the kids were coming from all over the world. And if Cisco could have had their way, they would have loved to get a blank slate for visas and bring in as many kids as they wanted because they were studying the concepts that they were looking for. So we're trying to help kids realize this. And there are three main areas that we focus on: financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. A lot of companies are letting us know that, and Cisco was one of these as well, that kids were coming in unprepared for the workplace, not really understanding the concepts. And in our programs, we have a wide variety of them. You'll see a list of them later. We try to talk about these issues that the companies would like them to be more knowledgeable about. Oops. I think my other slide.
You want to go backward?
You
go backwards?
Me, yeah.
Hold on, I'll bit. Move backwards more?
One more. I think the text was separate.
This one?
Okay, yeah. Perfect. Again, this is some of the issues that we're addressing, talking about letting them know there's going to be great opportunity in the future for you for jobs. You need to be prepared for them. Here's how you can prepare for them. And our programs touch on those. Sorry about that. And the way we're able to, what we do is put our programs in the classroom through volunteers. And the whole reason for us to do that is so that the students hear a different story every year. We're in kindergarten through high school, and our goal is to be in the classroom every year so that they start in kindergarten and they'll hear it through their through their studies throughout the whole 13 years that they're in school. So that, because right now, financial literacy isn't required. It will be in the future kind of optionally. Schools can choose to present it or not. And so we're trying to make the story consistent. And we want them to hear it from a variety of people, because there are a variety of ways to be successful, you know, to own your own economic success. And that's what we're trying to share with them. And we do it by partnering with corporations like Oracle, Cisco, Wells Fargo Bank. A lot of banks participate in our program, and a lot of companies provide us with volunteers. Parents in schools also are a volunteer source for us. College students, even high school students. And the way we're able to do it is that we seek grant funding every year. And foundations, corporations, individuals, service organizations, and we have a lot of special events. You'll notice that you receive 2 handouts from me. One is the background of junior achievement, and the other one, which is kind of looking newslettery-ish, has a lot of those events that we provide and put on throughout the year to fundraise. We have one coming up next week. That's a Hall of Fame dinner, and we recognize leaders in the community, and they, you know, a lot of people come to support that, and it's a fundraiser for us. In May next year, we're going to have our wine event. It's called Taste for Success, and it's a lot of fun. That's another thing that, you know, someone can buy tickets to and participate in. We have a high-end golf tournament that we do. So there are a variety of things that we do, and you know, nothing's promised. It changes every year, so we have to apply every year. And as I mentioned, we have programs in K through 12 and elementary school. They build on each other. Starts with kind of like the person. You know, you might think, well, can you teach a 5-year-old? But 5-year-olds are ready to hear about earning money, spending money, and saving money. And I always say that if all of us adults had learned those 3 basic concepts, 2008 might have never happened. You know, we would have been prepared for it. So that's where we start, and that's with the individual. And then it kind of branches out into the family. I have a role, I matter. How can I contribute? Then it's out to the community, and I'm learning about government jobs and businesses to get my needs and wants met, and how that's done, and how does the government work? Oh, through taxes. I have to pay taxes. These little 2nd graders get paid for working at the Sweeto Donut Factory, and then they have to pay taxes. And when we give them $6, and then the tax collector comes along and takes $2, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, yep, that's just how us adults feel. I see it starts in 2nd grade, you know. 3rd grade now, it's branching out to our city. They're learning about, you have to have special education to know how to lay out the city. And what happens in a city, how they communicate, you know, why is it important, what are zones and what happens in those zones. And so, and they're learning about money. It's a really good one for bankers because they learn about, you know, what's credit, what's taking a loan out, how to pay interest at 3rd grade. I have to tell you, I wish I'd known these things even in college, let alone 3rd grade. So, and then 4th grade now, it's branching out even more. 4th grade is really about being an entrepreneur, what it takes. Do you have the skill set? They kind of rate themselves. They get to pretend to run a little business, and they have problems, and how do they address those problems? It's really an amazing program. And then 5th grade, it's branching out even more. They're learning, yes?
Yeah, is this during class or after
yes,
class?
it's during school, during the school day. And I'll talk a little bit about how we do that. But in the 5th grade program, they're learning that to run a business takes resources, capital, human, and natural resources, and that they come from all over the world. So at the end, they're building a car, and they have these little cards that say maybe they're advertising executives from Canada, and they're holding string and they make this big web to kind of see, my goodness, all the things that it might take to run a business. And there are probably like 32 cards, and so they all have one, and they get to hold the string and it looks like a web. And so those are like the elementary, and we're trying to plant that seed that you could start a business, and you don't have to have a lot of money to do that, that people start businesses in garages. And so we're just trying to get them to think about that. In first grade, you know, they're learning about needs and wants, and they learn that. I've had parents tell me today, they've got college students that for several years after first grade, because they went through the program, they would always be saying, Mom, do we need that, or do we just want that? And it was like, shut up. You know, it's like, I don't want to think about that. And so, you know, again, they're great concepts. In middle school, it's branching out even more. They're learning about how the United States kind of runs businesses, the free enterprise idea. Economics for Success is about making wise spending decisions, what you're basing that on, why you want to use credit, how to use it responsibly, when to use cash. And now we're really, because again, in the programs that are about work readiness, like It's My Future, kids are learning that they have a brand, even as early as middle school. You know, like I'll say, you know, who do you guys ask to draw pictures for you? Who's the artist? Who do you always go to? Well, that's their brand. Or who's the kid who's making everybody laugh all the time? Well, that's their brand. And that they want to control that brand. With all the social media out there, it's like you want to know early on to protect your brand, cannot say something that might get you into trouble or prevent you from having a job one day. There are stories out there now where HR departments are Googling people, are finding their Facebooks, and you know, finding what they're putting out there. And if it's negative, you know, the picture of them laid out at a party because they're had too much to drink, you know, like that's not the brand you want out there, because companies will hesitate to hire you. And so we're trying to let them know, you know, that they are going to be working one day, what it is involved with finding a job, you know, resume, putting those kinds of tools together. And our high school programs cover those same 3 pillars as well: financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. And the JA Career Success is kind of the same concepts as It's My Future, only at maybe a little bit higher level than learning about the 4 C's. And I should be able to name them all, but probably won't. But like communication, critical thinking, being creative. These are the skill sets that employers are looking for so that they can be good problem solvers. And the company program, you see the signature program, is still out there. In fact, we've recently revised it and are going to launch it in January. It's called Blended Learning now, because it's going to be very online focused, because the program probably hadn't changed since I was in it back a million years ago. And so now it's really 21st century, so that even they can have somebody participate in their company who wasn't physically in the same room with them. They could be somewhere else. And so we're really trying to bring more of the digital age into our programs. And they're being revised annually as the funding is pulled together. And then there's another JA Finance Park Virtual. That's another wonderful program that really walks the students through all of the aspects of putting together a very detailed budget. And then at the end they go online and they have an avatar, and then we'll put all that information to use to put together their own budget based on a scenario of them maybe earning $40,000 a year, and what's their net income. It's really a dive down for all of the aspects. And that, again, might be something that a lot of adults could benefit from.
Can I send my wife to that?
Yes, yes, you can. Yes.
You said it's in the schools, so the school doesn't pay for the program, and
we provide, you know, in a day of what's in it for me, I'm really proud to be a part of an organization that isn't about ourselves. We really are about the students. All the funding and grants that we get allow me to recruit people to go into the school and present it for free. So there's no cost to the schools.
And it's in every school? Or
Oh, I would love that. There are 100,000 students in San Mateo County. I'm reaching 10 to 12,000 of them annually. And the limitation is the volunteer recruitment piece. That's the harder part, yes.
What local schools in San Mateo are you dealing with?
Okay, Sunny Gray, Laurel, Foster City Elementary School. There's Gill. No, I'm sorry, that's Redwood City. Let's see, South San Francisco's popping into mind. There's another school that's escaping me right now, and it's at the north end. Deloitte always fills that school.
Park is at the north end, Park School.
Park, no, we're not in Park. I wish, I'm crossing my fingers. I would like to do more, and it looks like I have some volunteer sources that are coming up to where I can offer it in more schools to see if they'll take us up on it. But we are in about 4 to 5 schools right now, elementary.
When you go in, is it for 1 hour at a time?
Okay, so our programs are delivered in 2 ways. One is called a JA day, where we present all of the lessons in one day. Usually, you know, 9 times out of 10, we do that model in K through 5. So we'll go in one day, present all 5 lessons. In kindergarten through 5th grade, there are 5 lessons. Middle school, there are 6. On occasion, we're able to shut down, say, the whole school or the grade level and present all of the programs in one day so that they don't change classrooms. High school, that's harder. So in high school, the model is 1 hour a week over the length of the program. So if the program is 7 lessons, like career success, you would go 1 hour a week for 7 weeks. If it's something like personal finance, where there are only 5 lessons, it would be 1 hour a week over 5. Sometimes we have teachers in elementary school that want you to come 1 hour a week. Foster City is like that, but most of the others go with the JA day. Number one, my volunteer sources seem to prefer that model because they can take a day and just go do something. Maybe their company gives them the hours, or they're just able to take off a day. The hour a week is harder because, you know, it's hard to own your own time and to be able to say, I can be there for the next 5 weeks at 10 a.m. every Tuesday. But those are the 2 ways that the program is delivered. And then this is kind of what I was just talking about, how we deliver it, what we're looking for our volunteers to really just share their personal experience. We offer training. It's 1 hour usually, 1 hour to 90 minutes depending. And I did actually bring a kit with me today if you wanted to take a look at what the materials look like. We have Junior Achievement has a very detailed and thorough lesson plan, and so you don't have to know anything really. It even says, it really guides you. Ask this question, ask that question. It's very detailed. And we have all of the materials. And the kit is kind of big because there are materials in there for 30 students or 32 students. So you have everything you need. And so we're asking volunteers to be a mentor, to connect the dots for kids. They get lots of theory, right? 13 years of theory. And so it's like, what's it look like in the real world? You know, Jim was talking about teaching, mentoring, and tutoring kids in algebra. How am I going to use algebra in the real world? Why is that important? You know, it's like, yeah, you're telling me I need to be good at critical thinking. Why? How? You know, and so it's like letting them know you're going to use this. It's going to be important. And some of the things you're already using. So we need you to do that for us. And then to, you know, not only are we asking you to take 90 minutes or an hour training with us, but then we ask you to prepare yourself so that you know what you're presenting if the kids are playing a game, how the game is played, so that you're not standing up there at the last minute going, you know, oh, hold on one second. You know, so we're asking you to prepare yourself. And we know that, you know, there are some concerns and some things that are important to the Rotary, and we align in some of these areas. First, that children and their communities benefit from the efforts of a proficient group of caring and involved individuals. And we believe that all students can learn too, so we bring respect into the classroom. You know, there are programs directly benefiting these students in San Mateo County. Like I said, I reach between 10 and 12,000 students a year, and would really like to grow that, expand that. And, you know, we encourage active participation from service clubs. And so if this is something that you think matches your availability and interest, we'd love to hear from you. And we measure our goals, the goals of the program. We have a pre and post test that we give. Not all classrooms use the pre and post test, but we try to get a good sampling from our students to ensure that the learning is taking place. And so that's really all I wanted to share, and I wonder if you have any more questions. Yes?
Is the program the same throughout the whole country, or
Yes.
was it tailored to various regions?
No, the programming is the same. We have some additional programs that we give high school students where there is more flexibility. Like, we have something called the Social Innovation Camp, and that's where students will maybe come into a corporation and solve a societal problem for the day. It's like a little competition at the end of the day, and they win prizes. Everybody doesn't do that across the nation. That's something we've perfected. It started with, it started internationally, and we brought it here in JA of Northern California. So there's, like in the high school, we do some different things. We do some different things in after school. Usually we turn things over to Boys and Girls Club after school, but there might be some latitude there, some variances. But our programs are our programs, and those that you saw are the same throughout the U.S. Yes?
Now, you also mentioned that companies like Oracle, okay, are providing funding. Is Oracle providing funding to Northern California, or are they providing funding for the entire country?
You know, I don't know for every corporation, but we do have national partnerships. So some are national. I would say, like, say, SuccessFactors. That's something that's global. That was a design of SuccessFactors, and so then we get to benefit in the Bay Area because they're here. So there are examples of both. Great questions. Yeah.
Have you found your funding to be better in recent years with the growth of the software and all the other more esoteric companies that are thinking along these lines? Or was it better back in the old days when it was manufacturing based?
I think it was easier back in the old days because, you know what, we weren't as busy and we weren't as pulled in all the different directions. Companies and individuals have way too much going on now, and so we really have to work extra hard to get the dollars and the people.
They don't call it the good old days enough.
What does the chamber, what activities does the chamber have for your project?
Well, I just joined. I just joined this summer, and so I'm in networking phase, and that's how I met Dave. I met him and, you know, mentioned this, and he offered the opportunity. So, and it's just a little tough for me because I actually live in San Jose, but because my territory is San Mateo County, I'm up and down the peninsula quite a bit. So I too have to work a little hard to make these connections and try to, you know, meet more people. But right now I'm kind of doing it on an individual basis, and like, you know, Gloria Guzman has volunteered for me and helped me join the chamber and helping me meet more people up here. So you know, it sounds like I'm kind of new at this, but actually I've been doing it for 6 years, and I just decided it was important enough to join the chamber myself and try to maximize that possibility.
Actually, you sound very accomplished, like you're a retired executive or something.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really am passionate about this. I enjoy it and love sharing the opportunity with people.
And our group, this Rotary group, is interesting because we're a San Mateo group, but we have people from Redwood City, Sunnyvale, Belmont, South City,
Oh, great.
San Francisco.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm inspired by your program,
Oh.
and